Stay close to me, but eventually you will be with me. Flower, girl, it may be hard to believe, but eventually you will be with me. Flower, girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Gab Jam, episode 175.
And what are we talking about today?
Okay, so this is one of those age-old questions that concerns all of us songwriters, whether you're writing for yourself, but especially if you're pitching your songs for opportunities. You have to bloody ask yourself, what does it mean for it to be a great song? What is there such thing as a great song?
So I think there is a such thing as a great song.
Okay, all right.
However, I wouldn't necessarily say it's objectively.
Okay, so that was our first point, is that it is a subjective thing and that one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly. So I do believe that there is such thing as a great song. So I think we had been talking about this before.
Yeah.
And Quincy Jones, when they were writing Thriller, said he went through like 600 songs.
Okay.
Right, in order to pick, I think, the 9 songs that were on Thriller. Now, what is amazing to me is of the 600 songs that he went through, how The Girl Is Mine made the cut, I don't understand. Don't get that. I don't get that. So that goes back to that point.
You're right.
So if The Girl Is Mine was a great song, that's a subjective thing.
Yeah.
To me, not so great.
Right.
I mean, so and we've seen a couple of situations where phenomenal songwriters.
Yes.
So that's another one.
Okay.
That is, we got the great Paul McCartney.
Right.
Awesome songwriter, right?
Yes.
We have the amazing Stevie Wonder,
yes.
right? Hooked Up did this song called Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah. Ooh.
That is completely
horrible.
Right. So, again.
To us.
Right. To us. But to them, they must have thought
that
it was a great song.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They felt like this was a great song.
Yes.
And this has got to come out. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that is for me.
Yeah.
Why I say that it's a subjective type of thing. But I do think that there are people, or there are record company execs, like Clive Davis and the rest of that, who would say that. Or, for instance, here's one.
Okay.
Boyz II Men. Initially, throughout, they rejected The End of the Road.
Ah, okay.
Didn't want no parts of that song.
Okay.
They did it, Babyface wrote it, they did it, and they were like, nah, this song ain't making it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about The End of the Road.
Oh, wow.
No. They basically, Motown had to force them, hey, no.
Oh, wow.
This is happening, and this is coming out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how we got.
And I was about to say, it's probably one of their most famous songs. Because even kids today know that song because it's the graduation song.
Exactly.
So,
so we think, objectively speaking, right? We all would know that's a great song.
Right.
Baby, Where Did Our Love Go?
Yeah.
Baby, where did our love go? Right?
Yeah.
Diana Ross hated it.
Oh, wow.
Initially, it was written for the Marvelettes. The Marvelettes said, no, that's too soft for us. We can't deal with that. We can't roll with that, right? It was given to Diana Ross. She was pissed off because she was like, you gonna give me this throwaway song? And so the way that she even sung it was sort of like with an attitude. And that first take that she did with that attitude is what became the song.
Oh, wow.
Right? But again, this is one of those type of things where you might say, okay, it's just, you're gonna know.
Right. That everybody will agree, and that's not the case.
It is not the case at all.
Okay, which takes us to our next point. Another confusing thing about a great song is, how do you classify a great song across genres?
Right.
Or across decades?
Right. Yeah.
So,
because what a great song today.
Right.
Maybe we wouldn't see it as a great song in the past. I mean, but there are certain songs that seem like they transcend time.
Yeah,
I mean, let's go
true.
back to Boys to Men. And the other song, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. Right?
That's another graduation song. Right?
But I mean, that's a cover tune.
Yeah.
So that song initially showed up in Cooley High, right?
Okay.
So, and that's back in the 70s.
Well,
So here's a song that has made it from the 70s to the 90s and has persisted throughout.
To the 2021.
Right. So this song has kind of, and it could be the way that, you know, especially when Boys to Men did their rendition, it was a cappella.
Yeah.
You know, which, you know, voices are never going to go out of style.
Yeah.
At least we don't think they will.
Well.
You know? But who knows?
But even cross decades, so that goes back to even the rap thing. At one time, rap was not considered true music, and now, OMG, like you'd be hard pressed, to get rap out of the mainstream, So I don't know when it's going out,
but and how do you classify those? I mean, which of those songs are great songs? And, you know, rap's always weird because within rap is usually another song.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I mean, you take like, because there's always some sample.
Yeah.
That's like usually the cornerstone of whatever song it was, right? Yeah. You know, because I think it was How Do You Want It? That I love that by Tupac and Jodeci, right?
Yeah.
They're on it, right? Casey and JoJo, I think, are on it, right?
Okay.
And that samples, I think it's a Quincy Jones song or something like that. But the part that I like the best of it, just the groove of the song, it's all sample.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so again, I mean, you're always that's always an aspect of rap too, that it kind of combines the two. But kind of going back to your point, is that I don't know if there's a clear way to do that, classify across genres. However, we've seen that though, where a song has, let's just take Dolly Parton. I'll Always Love You. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, so this is a song that she did. And then that same song was done by Whitney Houston. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, could you say, wow, that proves that was a great song. This is a great song in different genres. Right. And I know that there's others. You know, and you guys can probably even tell us about others that are kind of like that, where, you know, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Oh, yeah. Bob Dylan. I mean, so you know, I mean, Bob Dylan did it, you know, great song. Then Randy Crawford. Yeah. All Along the Watchtower. We don't even know that was Bob Dylan's song anymore. Right. I mean, we affiliate more with Jimi Hendrix than we do with Bob Dylan. Yeah. So I respect. You know, we don't know that. That's how Otis Redding did that song first. You know, you don't realize that until, you know, Diana Ross. You know, I mean, not Aretha Franklin. Yeah. What am I talking about?
No, you good.
Yeah, Riri. You know, I mean, definitely. So I mean, and there's a bunch of songs that are like that. You know, where, you know, different artists have done them, covered them. You know, You Got a Friend has been done by so many different artists. You know, and across genres. Yeah. Breezin', you know, was done initially by, I think it was written by Bobby Womack, and George Benson did that. So, I mean, so these are, you know, just types of things that are kind of, you know, you're always surprised by this stuff, but.
So sometimes it seems like it holds up, but it doesn't always, right?
It doesn't. Or, again, I'm mentioning these songs, and, you know, people may be thinking about these songs and, oh, that song kind of sucks. Right. You know, like I heard, there was one guy, he's reviewing, he was on TikTok reviewing like Rolling Stone's top 500 album. Okay. And the Isley Brothers 3+3 album came out, right? And he was kind of like, yeah, listen to it. It wasn't really my cup of tea.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's like, if you're into that kind of thing, that's on you. I'm like, what?
Right.
You know, who's that lady? Summer Breeze. Some of these songs that are on there. I mean, Summer Breeze was the Seals and Croft record that they did. I mean, I'm like, what?
Right.
You gotta be kidding me.
Right, yeah.
So anyway, I mean, so again, that kind of goes back
to that point one, right? So how do you classify? Yeah. Okay, and then finally, this is a big one. Yeah. Because when we are pitching songs and we get critiques back, this is a big one. Yeah. There seems to be no formula for a great song. Right. Because, so the examples that we were talking about earlier were, there's no hook in If You Want Me to Stay.
Yes.
or Yesterday.
Right.
And then a lot of the criticism that we'll get sometimes is things are too repetitive. But think about Fame by David Bowie.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably said Fame in that song like
a gazillion
75
times,
or
right?
Like that, just over and over and over and over again,
right?
And you think to yourself, oh, there's no other way that how.
Yeah. Right, that's all the song is Fame, Fame, Fame.
Same thing with what you call them, Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll. Hey, 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 hey.
And then don't even start talking about rap records because half the time it's just one part repeating over and over and over. So if that is the wrong formula for a great song, then why are some of these songs great?
Yeah. I mean, because you think about that. If you want me to say, he says it once at the beginning of the song, and then he doesn't.
Right, so it doesn't follow standard songwriting.
It doesn't adhere to that thing that they feel like. But for whatever reason, that song was always. It's like the whole song was a hook.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just the way that it was written, it was so unusual.
Yeah,
that it's gonna be that. I mean, and again, I don't want. I think sometimes for people, I think you have to trust your gut. So like Sting was talking about Every Breath You Take. And he was saying that I guess he had written it on the piano and he knew when he wrote it on the piano that was going to be a smash.
Oh, wow.
He knew it.
Wow.
He knew he had something.
Wow.
He knew he had something great.
Yeah. So trust your gut because you probably know better than anybody else.
Right.
Well, you feel it. Yeah.
That you kind of feel, or I guess too, if you find that, whatever the song is, when you take it around people hear it and it seems like it's connecting with people, things like that. I think it's difficult to say, okay, I'm going to ignore that.
Right.
And just,
and that takes me, I just heard something on a podcast and it almost crushed me. The person was saying to recycle their art, this visual artist, that after they have painted a piece and it's been in like 3 different showings at a gallery, if nobody has purchased it and it's just sitting around, they will actually just paint over. And they're like, oh, that paint has had its time and they want to recycle and save the planet. And I'm like, I could never. I'm sorry.
Right.
That just sounded sacrilegious. Again, even if it's something, because I think about the Sugarman thing, I think about people like, I think it's Virginia Woolf that never was published, that, after they die or well into their years, people discover them and they might discover this piece of art or this song and I'm like I couldn't think of doing that. So go back to trust your gut. So my gut would say just keep it and put it away, find storage for it, and
this is a piece of art that I did or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
I mean that's that. At the end of the day, I think you really have to do that because I mean and there loads of stories out there of songs that have been rejected turned down, that have gone on to be hit songs.
And it could be decades later. So that whole thing about it's had its time, I'm like that hurt my feelings, and then I'm not even the artist. So
I mean, and then sometimes the songs that do carry forward, I don't think people would have ever predicted. Like I think about that with Take On Me.
Oh yeah!
I mean, that song has just persisted. It's showing up in commercials today, and
it is.
And I never would have thought, when I heard that song in the '80s. I'm not saying it was a bad song or anything like that. I just never would have thought of all the songs from the '80s that just persist on and onward. The Princess Little Red Corvette, something like that. No, it was this song by Aha was this, basically a one-hit wonder from the '80s. So I mean, who knows? I mean, and that's the type of thing. I don't think anyone in the '80s would have predicted that.
Right. So when it comes to great songs, so you would think that if it's a great song that people would know. Again,
If it's something that we all objectively can automatically say, oh, this is a great song or whatever else. And there's a difference between it's done professionally, it does all the things it's supposed to do. I mean, that's one thing. But, usually to me, a great song will be something that, regardless of what the production is around it, you still gonna like the song. Yeah, and that happens.
It happens like My Chemical Romance with Helena. He hits that really bold note in the middle of it. But it must have been a choice because I know that they could have done better. But I just love that song. And that note, when it comes, I cringe a little bit, but it kind of satisfies something. It's just something about the way that all comes together. So.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, I think that songs that do touch you as, you know, what you subjectively see as great, I think it's something that transcends, you know, the production, this, that, you know, and usually even with the performances, you know, and we can think about that too. What makes a great performance?
Yeah,
and that's the other part where, you know, you have to kind of have, you know, that humanity aspect of things, which, you know, we've done a lot to erase that too, but that's kind of going off the point. All right, let's wrap this up.
So what do you think? How do you decide if a song is great?
Yeah.
Please leave it in the comments below. I know this is a very contentious topic, so I'm expecting to hear what you have to say.
Right.
Let's see. What's going on? Lord have mercy. That's it.
Right. And before you say it, I mean, it's not just on a lot of records, because don't forget, Rick Dees did a song called Disco Duck.
Oh, yeah.
That charted.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so it ain't just about that.
And of course, William Hung and some of these other people who have been hits.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway.
All right. We digress. A Sugar Fit is streaming everywhere. Wherever you stream it, you just do your thing, stream it. If you want it, you can hit us up. You can go to Bandcamp. You can go to CD Baby. You can get that. If you are interested in the vinyl, we are collecting for the vinyl so that we can put some vinyl out. Go to the Patreon, and that's listed below.
I was about to say, in a fast fact, the theme for this episode is one of the songs from Sugar Fit. I Get Faded.
That's right.
So just if you wanted a taste of it, you've already heard a little bit of it.
Yeah.
If you dig the vibe, be sure to
subscribe.
We're wishing you love, peace, and
chicken grease.
Yay.